hopefully this is a little bit better.
How you doing, bud?
I'm doing, man. I want a new job. Had to go get my truck after work. I dropped it off last night and had to go pick it up, and got home about 5 minutes ago from that. But I'm like, I think I can make it. I didn't want to get up early tomorrow morning and go get it, so I'm like, I have time. But yeah, it's just working my guts out, all that stuff. So it is what it is. It's the bill. How are you doing, man? Is your health any better?
Not really, but it's all right. Throat's fucking killing me today too. But
Your what?
anyway, throat. I don't know why it hurts so bad. It hurts like a motherfucker. I assume it's just from sniffling from all these spring allergies or summer allergies.
I know the allergies got me last week. I think for a couple of days I was struggling, and it's that first burst of humidity, for the year. It's like came out of nowhere. Then it got nice again. Now it's going to get hot as hell here in the next couple of days. So.
Yeah, it's going to be a nightmare next week. All week next week are mid 90s to high 90s. So
it's that time of year.
So we got to recap Sonoma. We got to talk about Iowa, but I do have to say that I know you love reposting it there, but we lost the Facebook page because Facebook made new rules that started on the 10th that you have to have 100 followers on each page to be able to go live now on Facebook. So that sucks. I didn't know they went TikTok-ish, but
yeah.
So we're live still on Twitch. We're still live on both Twitches, Grab Some Pine and Restart Zone, and we're live on YouTube still, but just no Facebook.
Okay.
But just figured to let you know and everyone else know.
That's
anyway.
Kind of crap
guys.
Them. Kind of a crap move by them, but I guess I understand.
It's about making money, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, so Sonoma. I did not realize they were racing ARCA, so I have no opinion of the ARCA race.
I didn't see it either. Well, it wasn't on. It wasn't on TV. It was on Flow Racing. It wasn't on.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't on.
Sam Mayer won. Did I get that right?
Yes, he did.
Or was that last week?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't. It wasn't covered on national TV, so I didn't see it either. So there's a lot of guys in the race. I think Gregson was in it. Obviously, Mayer was in it. Brandon Jones was in it. There was a good half a dozen. There was a half a dozen guys in it that were Xfinity guys, and I think there were actually a couple Cup guys in it too. I can't remember everybody, but it was pretty good field.
Well, you got it right with Gregson, so
I know Gregson was in there. I'm pretty sure Brandon Jones was in it. I think 5 or 6 guys that or big names were in it. So pretty stacked field for an ARCA West race.
Hold on a second. I can't find our fucking YouTube page. Am I crazy? No, I don't know. Anyway. So anyway, we don't have an opinion of that race because we just didn't get to see it, but I'm happy Sam Mayer won.
Absolutely. Yep.
But we got then we got the Boris said fiasco. I was so upset. No, we got the sorry, I found it. We got the Xfinity race in which SVG goes back to back.
Yeah.
So I know you're going to have an opinion of it, so I'm waiting for your opinion of it.
Of the race or the SVG winning or everything?
Just the race in general, and then of course SVG winning, because I mean that's a big deal.
Thought it was a pretty good race, honestly. I thought SVG, he gets the pole, he wins the race, so naturally on paper it looked like it was pretty much boring race, but it wasn't. He had to earn it, Some guys stayed out there at the end, and the strategy he had to work his way back to the front. And then Austin Hill did a good job of, keeping him back there for as long as he could. And then I think he would have got him, but had the restart and going up the hill there in turn 1 kind of took care of that. I thought it was a good hard race, and I mean, I'm sure Austin Hill feels differently, but I think they're even from Coda myself. If you remember how that race ended, Hill pretty much sent SVG like into the, pretty much cleaned him out. They didn't wreck, but he got him out of the way to get the lead, and then SVG raced him pretty similar to that. Later in the race, and of course Larson kind of snuck up on him with the fresh tires and won the race. But I thought Austin Hill kind of crowded him, and then he didn't let back out. He's got to earn his. He's got to kind of, I guess you could say, stick up for himself. These guys are going to race him. They don't really know him well enough to know how he races or his racing tendencies, whether he's dirty or clean or whatever. He just he had a great car. I want to make 2 points then after I just finish this point. I want to say two things. And he just did a good job. He got the lead from Hill. Hill lost a few spots, and then he was able to hit his marks and get another win. And I think he feels like he's obviously got the road courses down. He wants to win on an oval. That's what he told. I'm not sure who did the victory interview. I think it was Josh Sims, but he's definitely proven himself. And the two things that I want to, and Austin, him doing the drifting burnout beside Austin Hill was just awesome. I'm sorry, that was great. I just rubbed it in. Hill gave him the finger out the window. That was great. Two things I want to say, Matt. One, I don't know why I love the fact that SVG is in the very same equipment as Allmendinger is, and he kicks his ass every week, especially on road courses. I think that's fantastic. Why that makes me so happy, I have no idea, but I love every minute of it. Two, why was Boris said in that race? Why wasn't William Byron gets to drive that 17. Kyle Larson obviously gets to drive it. Chase Elliott got to drive it. Larson and Elliott have won that car this year. And why doesn't Alex Bowman get a shot? I mean, I know Alex is kind of he's even admitted himself, he's kind of the village idiot of the Hendrick cars. We all know that he's kind of the odd man out, if you will. But I don't think it's fair that he doesn't get to run that car, and they put a 61-year-old guy in that car. And Boris did a decent job in the backup car. I mean, he destroyed the primary in practice, and he said he was pretty embarrassed by that. I had no idea what he was doing, but they brought the backup car out, different wrap and everything, and he was actually running top 15 until he got in a late wreck. But he was actually, I thought, doing a respectable job for the situation with no laps on it and being older and out of the car and that long. But he did all right. But overall, I wasn't surprised by the result. I thought SVG I think he's kind of the favorite now on road courses, and he did a good job, did what he had to do, and won the race. So he continues to be fans seem to like him. He continues to. I think he gets better. I did not know this, Matt. Another thing that kind of surprised me during the race, they said that he has, in 13 races this year, well, now 14, he has 8 top 15s. Well, 9 top 15s now, and that's pretty damn good for not having much experience at all in stock cars on ovals. There's a lot of good cars in that series. We know with JGR and Junior Motorsports and Stuart Haas, Sieg, all this. Xfinity Field's probably as deep as it's been maybe ever. So, and he's running top 15 most of the time. He's not tearing a lot of shit up. He's finishing every week. I was impressed by that stat. I didn't know that, but I'm happy for him. He seems like a really good dude, and he's learning over here. But his road course skills are. I thought Allmendinger's were impressive, but his road course skills are incredible. I don't know if it's the braking or how he shifts or what he does, but he seems like that. The car is obviously good underneath him, but it seems like what he's able to do behind the wheel makes it just enough of a difference that he's probably the guy to beat on all road courses right now.
It's like watching Marcos Ambrose. It really is. Like, I love him. I just hope he, like you said, he's doing better on ovals than Marcos did already. Like, he's already better at ovals than he was. So I'm hoping that continues to develop. I mean, there's a lot of people reporting Trackhouse wants that third car for Shane, and that would leave Zane Smith out in the cold, which sucks, but they want Shane. Shane's an international superstar right now. New Zealand and Australia are absolutely emphatic about NASCAR now. They had the spike in ratings this week because of Shane. I mean, it doesn't hurt that
Yeah.
Cam Waters came over as well, and the other guy, Will Brown, who I actually thought was going to do really well, but unfortunate issues with the car he can't control. But
How about
no, I mean,
how about
Shane's,
how about Austin Green finishing fourth?
yeah,
Austin Green finishing fourth and just third start. Very impressive.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
I've been,
David Green. David Green.
I know who you meant. I wasn't going to correct you. I just let you go with it. I just honestly, for the Xfinity races, I honestly, like you said, he needs to show it a little bit more at the ovals, but he's been doing it with the top 15s. But I think it's good that he's showing some backbone and willing to fight, because I don't know if you remember when they were in Atlanta, nobody would draft with him. They were avoiding him. They were just letting him go and letting him fall to the back every time he moved to the front. So I think him showing some backbone and his determination to win some races and, show these guys he's for real might actually help him when they go to these drafting courses later in the season. So I'm very happy that he's doing that. Sorry, Adley Rutschman just took a foul ball off the cup, and I feel it.
Side note about that, I really wish that we would just go to the ALC. If we could just get to the ALCS already and do this best of 7 and go to the World Series between us two and forget the rest of the
100%. The American League is 2 teams. It is 100% 2 teams.
Everybody says it. You know it as an Oriole fan. I know it as a Yankee fan. Every time I watch a game, they're the 2 best teams, probably in all of baseball.
Oh, yeah.
They're the 2 best teams in American League just happen to be in the same division. So it just sucks.
And the other ones nearby, if you think about it, the 3rd team is very close. There's no doubt Philly's better than LA. So I honestly would say the Phillies are the 3rd best team. Or I don't know. We play them at the end of this week. We're playing the Braves right now, and we go straight to playing Philly after this.
The American League, it's us 2, and I think the gap's pretty big between maybe Seattle and Cleveland. But
yeah, it's massive.
It just sucks. One of us is going to be the number 1. One of us is going to be the number 1 seed, and one's going to be a wild card. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But yeah, back to racing. But I wanted to say that we're both very, very, very good. Fun to watch.
Yeah, and I'm hoping we get Jackson Holiday back. Like, I actually hope he comes up and actually can start hitting again, not being a strikeout machine. Because I just would love to see him fit in. But
and they might have ruined him for a while. He seems like he's
struggling. Thankfully he's only 19, so he'll adjust and grow.
He's young. He's young. He's talented.
His dad's a borderline Hall of Famer, so hopefully that'll help.
Yeah. So.
But anyway. So congrats to SVG, as you said. I'm glad you got that right. I mean, I took the 61-year-old, but so we go to Sunday, and my picks on Sunday were terrible. First off, I took SVG to finish in the top 5. He didn't even race.
I'm done picking Truex.
So am I. That was my best finish, though. Was Truex. That was my best finish. I had a terrible weekend with picks. 27th was the best I got because I took Willie B. He got involved in that Josh Perry punt and never really recovered. I had Gibbs and Denny Hamlin, and they didn't make it like 10 laps. So that weekend.
Denny, that's 2nd year in a row, man. 2nd year in a row, he DNF'd at Sonoma, basically the same spot on the track. Pretty odd. He spun out there right at the start-finish line last year after he won the pole, and this year he blows up on lap 2 right at the start-finish line. So, hey, it happens. I haven't seen a motor blow up like that in a while. It was kind of odd. I don't know if he missed a shift or what happened, but that was pretty big.
He posted on Instagram because James Murray from We Practical Jokers was there. Hamlin posted on Instagram and goes, "Okay, now Murr, detonate Denny's car on lap 2." And I was like, at least Denny's being funny about it.
Yeah, he's got a pretty good sense of humor, at least. Gotta give him that.
But no, I'm happy. I'm happy for. I was happy for the race in general. It was a really good. I mean, I told you during the race, I was really annoyed with all the constant wrecking at the beginning. But maybe they were getting used to the repave of
what
Sonoma.
The hell is that?
I don't know.
What was that? Those guys were just for about 5 or 6 cautions in a row, restarts in a row. They just kept wrecking, and even Harvick was saying this is getting a little ridiculous. He was getting pissed. You could tell. It's like, what are these guys doing? It's the same track, just a little bit newer pavement. You got to slow down. And then I guess the whole last stage went caution free, so that ended up the strategy came into play. And whether Larson had enough time to on this fresh tires to catch Busher and Truex. I thought it was a pretty good race. I thought it was strategies.
I really enjoyed
honestly
it.
thought for a while the Busher strategy. I thought Busher was going to be able to hold him off. I mean, if he had enough of a gap and Larson came out and he's like 9 seconds behind him, I'm like, oh shit, that's a pretty big on a road course. That's a pretty big margin, but it was clear pretty quickly that Kyle had the best car, best strategy, best tires. And he was patient and took his time, and he actually got the lead with time to spare and got another win.
People forget how good he is at road courses.
Dude, here's the thing. Here's the thing. The point about that is, I don't know if you saw when the whole Indy thing, when Larson was, back and forth between Indy and Charlotte, determining what race he was going to run if the weather was a factor, and we all know that ended up being a problem. But one of the F1 guys was
IndyCar
was
or
running
F1?
his mouth about one of the F1 guys. Like, he was either a fan or one of the guys that supports him, and I can't remember his name. He had a blue check mark on Twitter, but he said something about it was a question about Larson being the best drivers in the world. That was the conversation, and somebody brought up Larson's name, obviously, and this guy just completely just shot down that idea that Larson could be one of the best drivers in the world because he doesn't turn left and right. And I'm like, I told my buddy, one of my best friends is a diehard Larson fan, and I told him about it. And I didn't comment because sometimes you can't fix stupid. You can't with some of these people. Does he forget that NASCAR races on 5 to 6 road courses a year, and Kyle's won quite a few of them? He has wins at the Glen. He's won Coda. Not Coda. He has an Xfinity win there, but he's won at Sonoma a couple times. I mean, he's won at the Roval.
This is at least his second. It might be his third Sonoma win.
Second Sonoma win. He's got wins at the Glen. He's good at Coda. I just don't know what he said. Larson's not in the conversation because he doesn't turn left. He doesn't turn left and right every week like Formula One does. But it's like,
so
okay, he doesn't do it every week, but you put one of those but the F1 guys have already said that they're scared of ovals because they're too fast. In their car, they go too fast. They go like 240 miles an hour. It's like,
and the cars are so much heavier
race on ovals, and Kyle does it every week, and he does both. Whether he's the best driver in the world, I'm not saying he's the best driver, but he's certainly in the conversation. And this guy was shooting down the idea, and I thought that was kind of ridiculous to not even include him in that. Because what he can do in a stock car, a sprint car, and what he even did in the Indy car for that day, for not being in it, and ran a very respectable race, and finished 18th after the penalty, but did a good job all day up to that point. I just thought that was stupid, but yeah, he did a good job Sunday. He ran a smart race. He stayed patient and just let the race come to him there at the end.
I just watched him. I watched the video earlier today of him at the dirt track he was at yesterday, and the race he had.
He won.
19 to go. Yeah, but with 19 to go, the race they were having for first place was just insane. And I'm like, and to answer the argument of is he the best driver in the world, I don't even think there's a question. Like, I honestly don't think it's close. It's like saying someone is Patrick Mahomes good. You're wrong. Like, I'm sorry, it's just not an actual conversation to be had. Kyle, people can say, oh, he doesn't turn right enough or whatever you want to say. Go ahead and take their best driver, Max Verstappen, and put him on a dirt track in a sprint car.
Yep.
And I would love to watch that shit show happen. And I don't know if you heard. I don't know if you heard, by the way, but Shane Van Gisbergen invited Kyle to come down and race a supercar race in Australia this off season, and Kyle's debating on it. So Kyle might run a supercar race just to go do something different again.
Well, I know he's running a $250,000 race at Hoosiers here in next weekend, the 19th to the 22nd. The High Bank Nationals at Hoosiers, $250,000. There's going to be some pissed off people on Twitter after that race after he wins it. But yeah, he can do whatever he puts his mind to. That's how good he is. That's how talented he is. That's how focused he is. And I think
he's a humble dude.
I think he was disappointed in himself. That he didn't do better at Indy, but I mean, the expectations should not have been that high for his first time in the car. But I thought
honestly, the speeding penalty is the only reason he did.
Race. Yeah. I mean, you have people out there that just don't like him. I mean, they're going to find reasons to whether you like the guy or not. It's just dumb if you call yourself a race fan, it's stupid to fight the fact that he is.
Oh, he's been good the whole time. Just one bad moment. That's okay. It's all right. It's only once. It's all right. No big deal. It's only once. It's been smooth the whole time. No lag. It's been great.
But yeah, he's just, Larson. He's just people trying to just knock the fact how good he is just because they don't like him. It's just dumb, man. It's just you don't even have time for these type of people. It's just he's fun to watch. He's good for the sport. He's even Denny said that if they don't give him the waiver, he should just run a part-time schedule so NASCAR sees the ratings without him. And I'm not a Denny fan, but he's 100% right. I mean, he's clearly a draw. People like to watch him race, and he's one of the most popular drivers in the sport and one of the best. So
I feel like our show's motto is
good to see him get another win.
I feel like our show motto is that every week we have to mention we don't like Denny Hamlin, but he's always right. Because he's always right.
Yeah, he makes a lot of points. He really does. I mean, I don't get to watch his pod. I don't watch it. I don't go home and watch it. But I mean, I see some clips of it on Instagram or Twitter or social or Facebook or whatever, and a lot of the things he says have a lot of merit to him, and he makes a lot of points. He's trying to help grow the sport, and I know him and Larson are close friends, so he usually has his back. So, yeah, Kyle's good for the sport. No matter what you think of him personally, or if you just like to root against him, But he's one of the best there is, and I'm glad he's got 3 wins with Byron and Hamlin, and he got his waiver, and now he can contend for a championship again, and he should be a very, very big threat for that come playoff time.
Yeah, I root against him just because he's a Hendrick driver. I actually love Kyle Larson. I just don't like Rick Hendrick's cars. But anyway, we got to make some picks for this shit show that this Sunday will be. No truck race again this week. It's back-to-back weeks, which sucks.
Nope.
But that's all right. That just means it's another week of not watching Corey Heim or Christian Eckes win a race. All right, so we got Xfinity at Iowa. Everyone should know that they repaved this track, and I mean, there's not a driver not complaining about it. Denny's talking about how shitty it looks. He hasn't touched it yet, so he's not aware of how bad it is. But Denny hates the way it looks. Ryan Blaney's been commenting on the way it looks, and Christopher Bell, in an interview today, ripped the track apart. He is very, very unhappy. He said he was sorry because he thinks it's going to be a boring race. He's not excited for it, and this is a guy who's already won there before in the Xfinity Series, so that kind of deflates how excited I am when one of the guys who's pretty good at this track in history is not a fan of coming to this track with the way they repaved it. But maybe we'll be wrong and some shit show will happen. Who knows?
Anyway, it might be an entertaining shit show. But...
Yeah, we got Xfinity. Who you got winning at Iowa this weekend?
Well, since we're just pretty much throwing darts at the wall here, I'm going to go Allgaier because he's so damn good at short tracks. He should have about 6 wins this year. He's run well. How he only has 1 win is beyond me. Good God. He won 6 stages in a row before Sonoma without winning a race. So
yeah,
he's been fast. He just had some things just for one reason or another, pop tires at Phoenix or bad strategy at Richmond or getting wrecked at Talladega or whatever it may be. And his 1 win at Darlington, he was dominant. He's really good at short tracks, long runs, old tires. I'll go Allgaier. I know there's some other guys in the race. I can't quite remember who's in the Gibbs cars, but Justin's having a good year. I mean, I just wish he had the wins to back up all the laps led and stage wins he has. But I'll say he gets another one this weekend.
Yeah, like you said, he's having a crazy, crazy season. It's just the bad luck. It's Ryan Blaney-esque. It's just how much bad luck can you have?
Don't remind me.
The entry list, because I'm looking at it now, just because I'm curious who's in the Gibbs cars.
Heim's in the 26. Is Gibbs in one of them? I know. He posted.
I don't know how he's allowed. I don't know how he's allowed
in.
I don't know how he's allowed in the car again. I feel like he's already raced his 5 or 6. John Hunter's back in the car.
Ty, I think it. No, he hasn't ran his 5. John Hunter should be close to his 5. I think he can do. I think you can do 7. He only has 1 year of full time Cup. That's what it is. Yeah, until you have 2 years of Cup, you can run up to 7. I think it is something like that.
What is the
I think
other
that's
car?
the rule.
19,
I forgot
right?
what. 20, 19, 20 are the development
They're
cars.
The 2 rotating cars.
Don't
it's
have
Brett
a full time
Moffitt.
driver.
It's Brett Moffitt in the 19, and John Hunter in the 20.
Not that you care, but we Yanks are up 6-0 in the first inning.
We're up 2-0 on the Braves, just having a good pitching game, so I'm all right with that.
Man, we had a 2-run single by Verdugo, then a 7-5.
But anyway, Brett Moffitt, John Hunter.
Brett Moffitt in the 19. That's awesome. Good for him. I'm glad he's getting an opportunity like that.
So speaking of the Gibbs cars, I'm taking one that hasn't performed in many weeks, but he was the best driver in Xfinity Series for the first 6 weeks of the season. I'm taking Chandler Smith. I don't know why, but I feel like he's got to turn his season around.
I know why. I know why. Phoenix and Richmond. He won both those races. Very similar racetracks.
Yeah,
so that's a very strong pick. I get you. I mean, Richmond and Iowa could be brothers. They look very similar from the top. And when Rusty Wallace designed the place, he designed it after Richmond. So very similar type of races, about the same. A little bit more banking, but that's a smart pick. I completely understand that pick. He's kind of been in a lull after those 2 wins, but
there was a point where his average finish was 2.8, and now I haven't seen him in weeks.
Anytime you pick a Gibbs car in an Xfinity race, you should have a shot, and they're always fast.
All right, so now we gotta, like you said, this is throwing shit out on a wall and seeing what sticks. I have no idea. Top 5 for the Cup Series on Sunday at Iowa. I got no clues, so I'm gonna let you go first. Who you got winning?
Yeah, you gotta let me be the guinea pig. I'm gonna go Mr. I'm good. I'm gonna go with Mr. I'm good at everything new, Joey Logano. Just because of the fact it's new, it's something different. We haven't been here in the Cup car. Joe, they had Penske cars that found some speed. I think he had a good car at Sonoma. He led the first bit of the race until he pitted under caution. He had not got past. Reddick hounded him, but Reddick never got around him. Joey pitted, got back in that junk, and kind of damaged the car, and that kind of was his day. But he's good at these places. He always seems to adapt to new stuff. So I'm gonna stick with that. I'm just gonna go with something different, a different strategy of picking because we had nothing to go off of. So let's
first
go
time ever there for the Cup Series, so this will be fun.
Yes, sir.
I've been all over the place. I've been trying not to break my promise to myself and to all my viewers and our fans, but I've been having a hard time not doing it. So I'm going to stick with it and not do it. I think you know what that means. I want to do for the win, but I'm going to take the risk here, and I'm going to take Bad Brad to win this race.
Sweet.
Because simply,
that's good. I hope you're right.
Simply, just the Fords are so fast all of a sudden. They're just out of nowhere. They're a lightning bolt. And Brad and Joey and even Blaney have been super fast the last few weeks, and Chris Buescher even. And this is the type of track I could see all 4 of them doing well, so I had a really hard time. I really wanted to go Bell, but I promised no more Bell in the top 5. My favorite driver, every time I pick him in the top 5, has a bad day. So I can't do it. I wanted to take him to win this because of the Cup Series guys, I think he's got the best experience here, and I think he's going to be the one that can handle it the best, but I'm not doing it. And I honestly didn't like how the fucking Gibbs cars had so many issues last week. But anyway.
Do you remember years ago, you probably don't, but back when the Xfinity Series used to race here, it was a nationwide series then, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., when he was running in 6, when he was still running full-time, he won a race here, but he blew up going off of turn 4. There it is. Okay, you do remember. That was crazy.
And Carl Edwards just fucking straight up ran into his ass, and it was kind of crazy to me because you look at
he slid into the oil, I guess.
Yeah, because you look at it, you're like, how did you not just brake and maneuver around. It was just straight into the back of him, and he had plenty of time. So, like you said, I assume it was oil. I don't know. One of the craziest finishes of all time. But at Xfinity at least, especially for Iowa, that was pretty crazy. All right, who you got second?
Mm-hmm. Oh man, I don't know. I'm gonna go Chase Elliott. I don't have any rhyme rhythm to these picks. Chase has been running well lately. I expected more out of him out of Sonoma. I think they got behind on strategy, and he was really fast at the end. He just was too far behind. He ended up finishing fourth after everything that went down with the guys running out of gas and all. But he's been having a solid year. His numbers are good. His average finish is good. He's right behind Larson as far as points now. He probably passed Denny. They both passed Denny this past week, but he's had a good year. He's been solid, and I think maybe a different track he might have a shot to do something. No, it's just gonna be whoever figures it out quicker in practice. Whoever gets that new strip that they paved or whatever. Whoever gets a handle on that, like somebody's gonna hit it. There's gonna be a handful of guys that figure it out. There's gonna be some guys that are absolutely atrocious. So, Chase has good crew chief, and he did Hendrick stuff, and Gustafson will get him dialed in, and I think he'll have a pretty good day on Sunday.
All right. Well, I'm doing the logic view of hoping that somebody can figure it out. And I think if there's any driver in the history of the world that can figure something out when we don't know what's going on, I'm going to take Kyle Larson to finish second, just because if anybody can figure out the unknown and the wild, I'm going to trust Kyle Larson to do so. So I wanted to pick him to win. He was the other one besides Bell, but I wasn't going back to back. So
I'll save some time. I'll pick Larson third for the same reasons you are. He's Kyle Larson. He's good, and nothing surprises me with him. So I'll go third. I'll take him third.
I'm going to go Ryan Blaney third. Like I said, I really like what I've seen out of the Fords, including Blaney himself. He was even decent at Sonoma. I think these guys are really going to start putting some points up, and I think Bubba Wallace better start hitting the panic button because I think we're going to see somebody miss the playoffs. Kyle Larson is from your area.
Well, Cindric winning St. Louis Cindric's win kind of threw everything for a loop. Kind of pushed the cut line back a little bit.
Yeah, it added a driver that doesn't belong. There's two drivers in this that really have no place in the playoffs. I'm not trying to be mean, but Cindric and Daniel Suarez are both so bad they don't belong in the playoffs.
You're 100% right.
But it is what it is, I guess. I don't know. I've seen a lot of people argue we need to go back to the rule where that it's just top 16 in points. But I don't know. I don't know. So who you taking fourth?
Denny. He'll bounce back. You know how good he is on short tracks. He won Richmond and Bristol and Richmond earlier this year. He might be the best short track driver in the sport right now. So he'll figure it out. Even though it's a new and foreign to everybody, he's been fast everywhere. So, and short tracks are his strengths. So I'm just picking him fourth because I just think the Hendrick cars are a little bit faster right now. But he's had a great season, and especially he's a short track ace. So I'm sure he'll be in the mix.
All right, I'm gonna roll Buescher. I think these guys are gonna come in with. I think those RFK cars are gonna come in ready to win. Again, I don't know how he does on a new track. I don't know if he's one of those drivers I can trust with just straight up adjusting to something he's unfamiliar with, but he's been really fast. I actually thought he had a shot at Sonoma. I really did, like you said earlier, and now it's a 2-2 game.
He did a hell of a job. He did a hell of a job holding on as long as he did,
Utah Street.
Shocked.
Yeah. No, I was really happy for him. He just slipped up in that one corner. You never know what would have happened. But anyway, I'll go Buescher fourth. Who you got fifth?
I'll go Chastain. Chastain seemed to have some speed lately. Did a good job at Sonoma. Just completely Kyle Busch out on the last lap. I don't know what that was, but he had a good day. Had one of the faster cars in the long run, and I think they're starting to get their mojo a little bit here lately and has some speeds. These summer tracks seem to be good for him. He won Nashville last year and was good at New Hampshire and ran good at Chicago street course before all hell broke loose. But I think we're also starting to feel it a little bit lately. I was really impressed with the speed he had at Sonoma, and he looked good at St. Louis as well. So he's always one to kind of seems to adapt and figure things out quicker for some reason. So
No, I like it. I love Ross, and I was going to actually end with that. So we'll end with what happened at Sonoma because I just had a question for you. But I'll take a gamble. I'm taking a gamble just because he's been really hot. No one's noticed this. Kind of like you said about Shane being consistently in the top 15. Nobody's noticed this, but the past 6 weeks, maybe I think it might even be 8 weeks. Hocevar has been hot, and I'm taking Hocevar to finish top 5 here.
Hocevar has been very impressive, dude. For being in the second Spire car, he has done a fantastic job. I mean,
yeah,
the expectations, I don't know what they were, but they should have been high, but he has to be meeting them or even passing them. He's been doing a fantastic job, keeping his nose clean, not really pissing anybody off, running the laps, not tearing stuff up. That's what a rookie's supposed to do, man.
Yeah, I really have been happy for him, so I'm going to take him in top 5. Three last things to end this with. The Kyle Busch Ross Chastain incident. You just brought it up. I don't know what was happening. I don't know. Denny actually said on his podcast yesterday he thinks that Kyle was in trouble entering that turn, and Ross did not. He just called it the perfect mess. He said it was just the perfect mess. Everything that could have gone wrong for both cars went wrong entering that corner. And I don't know if that's true. To me, honestly, it looks like Ross was tired of waiting for Kyle to move over, and he just punted him out of the way. That's at least how I felt. I don't know. But I hate Kyle, so I'm okay with it. I was like, that's dope. But then I was upset when Chase Elliott was like, oh, you can punt someone? I'm going to move you out of the way. No, I love what Ross. I love Ross Chastain. I think he gets such a bad rap. I think that's what Denny even said. Denny was like, because it's Ross, we're so quick and eager to blame him because he's had the reputation for it. But I think he was like, I do think something was wrong in the 8. So I do agree with you. I thought that was, I don't know exactly what that was about, but he's been hot. The other thing I wanted to bring up was, I said 3 and I've already forgot one of them. The Truex rumors. I don't know if Truex is retiring. No one knows if Truex is retiring, but I heard that Joe Gibbs is meeting with drivers next week. So maybe Joe Gibbs knows. But you know what?
I saw this morning. The rumor is, which I liked it. I think I mentioned this before. I don't know if I have or not. A couple weeks ago when the charter thing happened with Stuart Haas. I think I may have said this, but now it's starting to gain some traction. Gregson to RCR with Bass Pro Shops as a sponsor that he's had his whole career for a third car at RCR. I think that makes a ton of sense, but we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out.
I don't want it to happen. I want him to go to. I want Truex to announce retirement, and I like at the end of the year, and I want Gregson to get in the 19 because the 19 already has a Bass Pro sponsorship.
He won't go back. But he won't go back to Toyota. I don't think he'll do that. But I could be wrong. We'll see.
I just see. I just hope to see him actually get a shot.
I mean, you like Chastain. I like Gregson. I think he's a good kid. I think he's got a good sense of humor. He's made a mistake or two. Who hasn't? He's learned from him. He's a good driver. I just hope he lands on his feet in a good ride.
No, that's what I like. I think that would be the best ride for him because I think RCR is headed to the toilet bowl, so I don't really want to see him go there.
They've been there for. They've been there for.
But honestly, if anyone's going to get in that car and it's not Gregson, I really do hope it's. I honestly would love to see Hocevar jump into it and get a real ride like the 19.
Probably end up being Nemechek or something like that. But
I hope not. We'll see. I'm a big John fan, but man, he just looked like shit all season.
Yeah, he's not a Cup driver.
Eric Jones is looking decent-ish at times, but dude, honestly, Justin Haley, I would love to see do it, but just because I think that guy deserves a ride, man. He's so good. But the last I wanted to bring up was the new negotiations came to the table, and a lot of news came out on Monday about that for the charter deal. And it has been reported that NASCAR is willing to move on if these teams don't sign the charter. NASCAR is willing to move on without Hendrick, Penske, or Gibbs. And I was like, "Are you fucking crazy? Are you fucking?"
Yeah,
because
I call bullshit on that one.
because Jim France or whatever his name is wants to actually own a charter. So he wants to make it so they're allowed to own a charter, and the owners don't want that. They don't want the owner owning a team, and that's where their line is currently sitting. That they're
it'll work itself out. I don't believe that for a second. I think it's a bunch of bullshit. So we'll see. I just have a hard time believing that they would be willing to do that. But
that's what France said. France said we'll move on.
I saw that. I saw that as well. But I don't know, man. That's.
I think he's just bluffing.
You're going to move on.
Have to know there's no way.
Yeah.
There's just no way they
provide without. What do you call it? Leverage? What do you call that? Leverage play or whatever? I think that might be what it is.
Yeah.
So, but until that happens, I don't see that being a realistic thing. But we'll see what happens. I call BS on a lot of stuff until I see it happen. So we'll see if it's a Truex thing. It's that time of year, silly season. Things are going to start cranking up, and stuff's going to start getting announced for next year here, probably right around when the playoffs start.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So that's everything, guys. We're back next Wednesday to recap Iowa, and then the following race is New Hampshire, I think.
Nashville.
Yeah, New Hampshire. What? I just checked. I swear to God, it said New Hampshire.
Oh, it is New Hampshire.
Yeah, New Hampshire. Get that race out of the way. I don't know. I've been to Loudon 4 times, so I really like Loudon. So I'm kind of disappointed it's kind of turned into a mid-race at best. And it's now 4-2 as that's a 2-run shot by the O's. Mr. Colton Cowser.
Go Yankees.
But anyway, we'll be back. I can't answer that. I'm not going to be mean to you. I mean, I'm really actually happy that – honestly, I'm just happy Tampa, Toronto, and Boston suck so bad that we get to see a Baltimore-New York rivalry at its finest. Literally 2 top-level teams duking it out. It's great. So I love it. But all right, guys, we'll be back next week. Have a great weekend, everybody. Be safe and enjoy yourself.
Take care, guys. See you next week.